Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're embarking on a truly microscopic sensory journey. We're going to slow time way down to observe the mesmerizing fluid dynamics of something you've probably done since kindergarten, though hopefully with a lot less mess this time around. We are looking at the exact moment of creation for the color green. Let's dive right into the hidden mechanics of color theory in motion. We take basic color mixing completely for granted. You grab some blue, you grab some yellow, you mix them, and boom, you've got green. But as we really dive into this visual exploration today, prepare to witness this intricate, subaquatic ballet that happens right before our eyes. There is an entire world of physics, tension, and release occurring in just a tiny glass bowl. So, let's start with phase one, the anticipation of the pour. Take a look at this pristine setup. We have these steady human hands holding two transparent glasses, creating this wonderful space of pure anticipation before any liquid is even introduced to the clear bowl below. The whole environment is deliberately stripped of distractions, so our eyes can focus entirely on the physical properties of the paint itself. Right at this very moment, before a single drop falls, we're looking at pure, raw potential. What you have are two distinct, highly pigmented liquids teetering on the precipice of an irreversible transformation. They're wholly themselves, a deep, confident blue and a bright, energetic yellow, suspended in perfect isolation. But of course, that isolation is about to end. Which brings us to phase two, the kinetic liquid collision. Watch closely as gravity takes over. The dual streams of liquid fall simultaneously, maintaining their unbroken, glossy, cylindrical shapes as they plunge into that crystal clear bowl. There's this perfect symmetry here, and notice how the light catches the curvature of the falling paint, really highlighting its thick, velvety texture even before it hits the bottom. Now, this perfectly visualizes a concept you've probably heard of, viscosity. It's basically the measure of a fluid's resistance to flow. The natural, high viscosity of this acrylic paint gives the pour a heavy, very deliberate quality. It literally stretches time as we anticipate that exact moment of impact. Notice how it's not splashing wildly like water. Instead, it's draping, folding, and sinking with real weight and purpose. Moving right along to phase three, intricate macro color diffusion. As the paints hit the bottom, it's like we've suddenly zoomed into a subaquatic environment. The blue and the yellow violently, yet somehow incredibly smoothly collide. They don't just instantly turn green, right? Instead, they create these beautiful swirling patterns, carving pathways through the clear liquid medium. It honestly looks like vibrant smoke billowing underwater. What we're witnessing here is diffusion in its absolute most aesthetic form. Driven entirely by color physics and liquid dynamics, the high-density paint meets the resistance of the fluid already in the bowl. It's forced to fan out, stretch, and wrap around itself, crafting these mesmerizing ribbon-like textures swirling right before you. I really want you to notice these micro-interactions. You've got these deep blue tendrils cutting sharply through the yellow mass. You can see the bright yellow folding over the blue resistance, trying to encapsulate it. It's kind of like the physics equivalent of a messy room right before you finally organize it. And if you look incredibly closely, there are even tiny, delicate air bubbles caught in the chaos, suspended like tiny glass spheres within that thick liquid matrix. These overlapping, transparent layers are what actually trick our eyes into seeing the very first hints of green. And that chaotic swirling leads us to phase four, the vivid green emergence. Think about the mechanical sequence we just watched unfold. First, the kinetic pour introduced the elements. Second, the subaquatic collision forced them to interact. And finally, the vivid transformation, where the colors completely surrender their individual identities to birth something totally new. The blue is gone. The yellow is gone. This is the exact moment of emergence. It's that precise second where microscopic resistance finally fades away. The chaotic, ribbon-like swirling textures blend realistically and completely into a naturally vivid green. It's an absolutely fascinating macroscopic magic trick, driven entirely by fluid dynamics and light refraction. Finally, we reach phase five, the satisfying final ripple. Our bowl is now filled to the brim with perfectly mixed, highly detailed, glossy green paint. It brings our kinetic journey to a peaceful, mesmerizing stillness. The contrast between the chaotic subaquatic swirl we were just looking at and this pristine, smooth surface is incredibly striking. And the physics of this liquid give us one final, incredibly satisfying visual reward. Look at that single drop falling back into the velvety pool. As it strikes, it displaces the surface, radiating perfectly smooth concentric circles outward. It is literally a textbook example of surface tension and wave dynamics, frozen in time for us to admire. The aftermath of this collision is a completely transformed state. Notice how the bright studio lighting catches the peak of every single ripple, highlighting the pristine, highly reflective nature of the newly formed liquid. What was once two entirely separate primary colors is now a single, unified matrix reflecting the world around it with a glossy, mirror-like finish. So, as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a thought. We just spent this time watching something as seemingly mundane as paint mixing, yet it revealed a universe of fluid dynamics, kinetic energy, and absolutely stunning visual art. It really makes you wonder, if so much captivating beauty exists in this simple act, what other hidden, microscopic ballets are happening right in front of us every single day, just waiting to be observed? Keep your eyes open and never stop looking closer. Thanks for learning with me today.